Roger.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deva Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunnavadi Pasyatya Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai, welcome to Iskcon Niagara's first Saturday program, which will be continuing at this time in future, every Saturday. And we welcome all the wonderful Vaishnavas and devotees and friends and well-wishers who are attending to this program. We got all our obeisances to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, to all his wonderful disciples, sannyasis, and all the grand disciples of Srila Prabhupada, and all those who are connected with the movement, who are doing such wonderful work in spreading this Hare Krishna consciousness. So we are very excited about Iskcon Niagara. Our council members are working very diligently to bring to you uh, a, a, what should I say, a situation or an institution that will be so pleasing to Srila Prabhupada and all his disciples. By April 21, we will open the first Govindas in the Niagara area. That'll be the first Govindas food outlet for this location. And that will shortly be followed by a physical location once we see the exit of the COVID and pandemic. And thereafter, our mega projects, which we conducted at warp speed, dependent on the mercy of the Supreme Lord and the well wishes of all our wonderful Vaishnava community. So we are really, really excited. And today we are even more excited because we have the wonderful association of some wonderful Vaishnavas. We have, opening up the program today will be His Grace Satchit Ananda. He'll lead the kirtan and he'll bless us with such sweet vibrations that will make our days so wonderful. And that'll be followed by a talk by His Holiness Bhakti Marg Swami. And he will speak on something about the vision of Iskcon Niagara. Thereafter, His Grace Venkat and Mataji Snigdha Radhika Devi Dasi, a disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Jai Pataka Swami, will give us the closing questions, and we will have the question and answers immediately after that. So before I introduce you to our next part of the program, I would like to say a few words about His Grace Satchit Ananda Das. Satchit Ananda has been traveling all over the world and sharing his very deep understanding of the Vedic text. His commentaries and his katha is very well received all over. And today we are really blessed to have another part of his exciting repertoire, that is, he will be conducting the kirtan for us. So without wasting too much time, I will pass on the microphone to Satchit Ananda Das.
Hare Krishna. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschate Veshtarine Vancha Kalpataro Vyascha Kripa Sindhubhe Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. My obeisances on to all the esteemed Vaishnavas, His Holiness Bhakti Marg Swami, Her Grace Subhadhi Mataji, and all the senior Vaishnavas and all the Vaishnavas assembled here. Thank you so much for your association. Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Charine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Tarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Govinda Jai Jai, Gopal Jai Jai, Govinda Jai Jai, Gopal Jai Jai, Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai, Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai, Govinda Jai Jai, Gopal Jai Jai, Govinda Jai Jai, Gopal Jai Jai, Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai, Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Radhe 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 Govind Radhe, Radhe 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 Govind Radhe, Govind Radhe Gopal Radhe, Govind Radhe Gopal Radhe, Radhe 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 Govind Radhe, Radhe 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 Govind Radhe, Govind Radhe Gopal Radhe. Govind Radhe Gopal Radhe, Govind Radhe Gopal Radhe, Govind Radhe सच्चिनंदन गौर हरि जय सच्चिनंदन गौर हरि जय राधा मदन मोहन राधा मदन मोहन राधे राधे जय राधा गोविंद राधा गोविंद राधे राधे जय राधा गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथ राधे राधे जय राधा रमण राधा रमण राधे राधे जय राधा गोकुलानंद राधा गोकुलानंद राधे राधे जयो राधा दामोदर राधा दामोदर राधे राधे जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे राधे हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताई गौरा हरि बोल निताई गौरा हरि बोल प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And all glories to the assembled Vaishnavas, especially my humble obeisances to the Prabhupada disciples assembled here, His Holiness Bhakti Marg Swami and Her Grace Subhuti Mataji. So it is our pleasure on behalf of the Iskcon Niagara Council, I would like to now invite His Holiness Bhakti Marg Swami to share his vision about Iskcon Niagara Falls. Before I do that, I would like to give a very quick introduction on His Holiness. Bhakti Marg Swami is actually well known all over Canada. As a matter of fact, all over the world, especially is popularly known as the walking monk. And in 1973, as a very young person, at the tender age of 20 years old, he joined the International Society of Krishna Consciousness. And he actually is from the Ontario region, and he has a degree in fine arts. So one of the wonderful things about Maharaj is that he produces wonderful dramas, Krishna conscious dramas, the most recent one being Rolling the Dice. So if you all have a chance, please do look at it. It is based on an incident from Mahabharata. And he's very well known for many of his plays all over during the Rath Yatra time. He goes from with the youth in performing at different Rath Yatras, Krishna conscious dramas. Also, Maharaj is a walking monk. This is something very unique. Perhaps you all have heard the term when we call out the Jai Dhwani of the Vaishnavas, Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrjakacharya. So Parivrjakacharya, if we reflect on that word, it basically means that personality who goes all over, and preaches the message of Krishna consciousness. So His Holiness Bhakti Marg Maharaj has actually walked across Canada 4 times, and the United States at least once, and also he has walked in some European countries like Spain and also in Mauritius. So that is one of the specialties of Maharaj, that all along the way when he walks, you meet many kinds of people, motorists, people are just going to the store or just looking at a site with a monk who is dressed in saffron robes, and that intrigues people. And they just, and Maharaj gets that opportunity. That moment is seized by Maharaj to preach the Krishna consciousness, which is the very, very much required. It is the need of every soul. So without further ado, and of course, he's also the governing body commissioner, the GBC of Canada, where, a lot of the temples he is in, he is the main servitor, I would say, who serves the temples, all the temples in Canada, and all the temple administrations of the different temples in Canada. They are responsible for reporting to him for the service of His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada and the movement of International Society of Krishna Consciousness. So thank you so much, Maharaj, for being here, taking out your precious time. And it is a pleasure to have your association, and I hope we can have you more often as we have these virtual programs every Saturday at 3:30 p.m. So whenever you're available, Prabhuji, Maharajji, please let us coordinate and please share your wisdom and your blessings with us. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to His Holiness Bhakti Marg Swami. So I will unmute Maharaj now. Maharaj, you may please unmute yourself.
I just did.
Thank you.
Okay, you can hear me?
Yes, Maharaj, loud and clear.
Okay, thank you so much, Satchidananda Prabhu. And I'd like to also thank Vaishnav Prabhu for spearheading our mission, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness in Niagara Falls, which is a very beautiful spot on the globe. Before I start, can you tell me how much time you're giving me?
Sorry, I unmuted myself. Maharaj, whatever time you need, 1 hour, 45 minutes.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
We'll let it flow. And if there's any questions, you have a period for Q&A, do you?
Yes, Maharaj, we do.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So first of all, I'll open up with Sachinandan Prabhu, you already started with some vocational mantras, and I'll do one. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Translation to that is, I was born in the darkest of ignorance. My spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisance unto him. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So generally when we do a talk of sorts, like I am right now, we usually have some invocational prayer or mantra giving homage and honor to our teacher, and that is Srila Prabhupada, the founder of the movement who started the Hare Krishna movement back in 1965 and officiated it or registered it in New York City in 1966. So I've been asked to say something about the vision that at least I have, that I want to share with all of you for the Niagara region. First of all, I'm grateful to those who are living in that locality and are taking up the, let's say, what the ammunition, which is, and the energy, all the energy that you can muster to generate interesting Krishna consciousness in your area. Niagara Falls is known all over the world. It's, according to the Kodak company, they say it's the most photographed place in the world for a natural wonder. So that's pretty amazing. And every time I go to see the Niagara Falls, because I'm an hour and a half away, I have no excuse for not going there. I get energized, I get invigorated just from being in the presence of that mist, that flow of water, which one particular writer described as, nature drooling over the cliff. It's a place of wonder, water. One person described it as Niagara Falls, it's where the water is the boss and the land has to obey. And when I was a child growing up near Lake Erie, we would swim a lot in that water, and I used to wonder, where does all this water go? And lo and behold, I found out it dumps down this waterfalls called Niagara, and it forms Lake Ontario, and then moves on, to finally to the Atlantic River through the St. Lawrence River. That's geographically how it grows. People from all over the world come to this part of the world. They're amazed by the Great Lakes. The big attraction is water. And the word Ontario refers to shining waters. It's sweet water, as if you're from Indian origin. People call it sweet water as opposed to salt water. Some little quotes that I picked up just before getting on board here, some cute little puns go like this. What are you doing today? What are you doing today? Here's another one. This place is gorgeous, because you have this wonderful gorge that runs between the river. Well, it is the Niagara River and goes between the two lakes, Erie and Ontario. Here's another one. I wanted to go to see Niagara Falls before it was crowded, but I missed. Okay, and here's another one. What a beautiful bridal shower. Yes. When I was a brahmachari, before I became a full-fledged monk, a Swami, I would travel all over Canada in a van with one or other two people, and we would love to bathe in the rivers in the morning, because that's our morning ritual. You take your bath in the morning, and if you could find a waterfalls, that was really special. But I would never tackle Niagara Falls. Too much water coming down all at one time. Niagara Falls is an amazing spectacle in the world, and when I see the falls, I just think this is spark of Krishna's splendor. So water is the big thing. And I wanted to quote for you a verse from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, text 4. Bhumir apanalo vayu, kanmano buddhir evacha, ahankarya iti mante, bina prakritir ashtada. These 5 and then plus 3 elements make up a big portion of the world. Bhumi refers to the earth or the dirt, the land. Apa refers to water, and then Anala is fire, and it goes on fire, air, ether. Vayumi refers to air or the breezes, the currents that blow in the ether. And then we have kan mano buddhir evacha, kan mano buddhi. Kan refers to the ego, and then we have buddhi, intelligence, and mana. Mana refers to the mind. These 8 elements are considered to be the separated energies, bina, prakriti, ashtada. Ashta refers to 8 elements that are generally grouped together, that are part of the Creator's domain, Krishna's domain. So it's water's the main feature there. And one of the places that I walked through on my 3rd walk across Canada was a place up north, Kapuskasing. And that's the birthplace of James Cameron, who did a few feature films like the Titanic. I guess he was always fascinated by water because he was born in Kapuskasing and raised in a place, I think it was Chippewa or something like that, very close to Niagara Falls, fascinated by water. And so he came up with that blockbuster movie. I think that Krishna is highlighting these elements in the Niagara region. It attracts 13 million people every year, and that's quite a big figure. That's very big for Canadian statistics, for numbers in Canada. And when you go to the water, you see people there from all over the world. Let's put it this way, it attracts all kinds of fish, people from different languages. You can't even make out, you can't even understand, where am I? Well, where am I in this planet? Because there's just so many different people speaking with different tongues in that location right along the waterfalls. And so I think it was a beautiful idea that some of our members moved out into the region, and it is attractive. I had the good fortune to walk on the Bruce Trail, which is on the Niagara Escarpment, and I spent, whenever I had a little extra time on the trail, making it from Queenston Heights, where it begins, this trail begins, and all the way to a little bit beyond Hamilton. I still have a distance to go. I think we covered about 1/5 of the entire Bruce Trail, which is a gorgeous trail full of naturalness, waterfalls everywhere. And I think that many of us who live in these gorgeous places in the world, we take them so much for granted. Like I live in Toronto, I'm certainly grounded here now during COVID. And I think I went on the CN Tower once. So if you ask a lot of Torontonians, have you been at the CN Tower? Well, not really. Well, I only live here. So I think we can become easily spiritually surcharged when we go to these particularly natural wonders of the world. So I think that particularly Vaishnav, Janaki and family moved to that area. And one of the reasons was to expand Krishna consciousness in that area, which does draw people from all over the world. And it is a nice place. I've also seen people leaning at the ledge, with the gate there, with a wrought iron gate there to protect themselves so they don't fall over down the cliff and go into the water. But I've seen how they'll raise their arms, they'll pray, people meditate. It's a real special place any time of the year, even in the winter when you have the icicles coming up and going down, like those electrolytes and so on like that you find in caves. So it's a gorgeous place in the world. Fortunately, they've kept a lot of green. So my particular thoughts that was milling through my mind about the areas that we should do something really attractive there. We should do something that is, I would say, like mind-blowing, something that's going to be another reason for people to go to Niagara Falls, another purpose, another reason for Niagara Falls being a destination. So as many people know, our Hare Krishna movement, Iskcon, is known for several things. One of them is prasadam distribution. One of them is for being quite crazed about chanting mantras, as Satchidanand was just demonstrating. We like to chant mantras. That is one way of showing your love or appreciation for the divine, for Krishna. When we chant Krishna's name, it's to express our gratitude, our appreciation. And that's one way to translate Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It is a way of communicating with God. It is a way of expressing appreciation and asking God to please keep me enveloped in your divine energy. Please allow me to do some service for you. Those different interpretations are there to help us to understand the power of mantra meditation. I was thinking that we should have some kind of architectural wonder at Niagara Falls. We should actually have some kind of temple, and anybody who knows me or has worked with me knows that I'm not so much in favor of complex deity worship or temple arrangements, but I believe in definitely doing something that is fairly simple and fairly attractive. And I believe that Niagara Falls is a good location for that. So developing a beautiful temple that has architectural features that will just be so appealing that people will not want to, once you go there, you want to come again, or you may not even want to leave. So the features of this location should highlight the 3 items that I mentioned. Mantra meditation. It should highlight prasadam. So it'd be nice to have a good restaurant there, with really first-class food and what we call prasadam. And we'd also should have demonstrate it should be a place of learning, a place of education and culture. And part of the culture could be to show beautiful deities and let people know what puja is all about. Puja is a form of worshiping the Lord. I think that beautiful grounds should be established. We should have enough space for some kind of like pathways, walking trails with amazing features of what's indigenous to this area, ponds. It would be nice to have some water displays. Ponds, lack of a better word, or small lakes that may attract certain kind of wildlife and so on like that. And just so people can feel a sense of peace when they go there and get the shanti that everybody basically is looking for in this world. The whole idea would be to have something that will be a glimpse into the spiritual world. It will capture our attention and our imagination. And I think it'd be nice to have a little bit of organic gardening there and let people know that vegetarianism is basically the way to go, and veganism to live a more sattvic kind of lifestyle. And I just think that there should be ample space for people to be able to park and come and just have a beautiful experience, you know, something that will bring them closer to the spiritual realm, to what we call Vaikunta, the place which is free from anguish and anxiety. My thoughts are to have an architectural wonder, and I was thinking that this is something we'll have to discuss, some of us, and we appreciate people's input. It would be kind of nice to actually have some kind of like a crystal kind of a structure, something that would reflect water, you know, it's light, you know, and less bulky. I think it would be kind of unique in the world to have a mandir with that as a crystally look. And we can actually, let's say, oh, sorry, that was my foot kicking the telephone stand. It would be nice to research and look into buildings that have that iconic crystally look. And it would give it a sort of a lightness and a brightness and make you feel like you're inside or outside, like the lines of inside and outside are just kind of blurred. It would be just quite unique if we did something like that. And I think it would give a lot of attention to this higher consciousness of Krishna consciousness. People have been drawn to gorgeous buildings since time immemorial. Like, say, if we look at India, India has the Taj Mahal. But for me, that's not the best looking building. It may have an interesting and rich history to it and a lot of intrigue. But my favorite buildings are the structures in South India, which are sort of pyramidical in look, and they have lots of devatas and like gods and goddesses on the exterior, extremely colorful, and just, you know, to me, those are beautiful buildings. When our Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, came to visit our temples in North America, he was around in 1976 at the bicentennial year of the United States of America. Prabhupada went to Washington, where we had an established temple, and someone pulled out a lawn chair for him, and he sat. It was nighttime, and he was waiting to see the fireworks for the 200th anniversary of America being a nation. So he was set up quite early there, and he was looking at the Capitol building there in Washington, D.C. And people were coming around and visiting him, but he kept actually looking at that building, and he was staring at it for an awful long time. And then later on, he revealed that he would like a temple in India to look something like that. It has sort of Greek features, a little bit of, I guess, a fusion of East and West. But he was very attracted to that building. And that's how he got the idea that our big manifestation of a gorgeous temple is now being erected in our headquarters in Mayapur, West Bengal, about a 4-hour drive from Kolkata, and also the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who taught Bhakti Yoga, who taught love, the religion or the spirituality of love. Those were some of my thoughts, and if we have an expanded area we might be able to develop a seniors home. And I personally believe wherever there's a seniors home, there should also be like a school very close by, so that the elderly can have that opportunity to have youthful energy around them. That's been like psychologically very proven, let's say, successful outlet for the young and the old to know and to get to endear each other. So those are some of my, let's say, thoughts about the development of Krishna consciousness there. Naturally, people will come to the area for practical reasons, for work, for school, for their children. And then if we have a gorgeous place, which will bring people in for their regular spiritual education and enlightenment, that would just be like a formula for being very spiritually successful in our mission. I did say that I would give some period for your questions and answers, and it can be, let's say, take the shape of sharing your ideas or letting me know what you thought about what I had in mind for the community center. Of course, it will be has to be collaborative work between those of us who are living in that area and those who might be interested to move to the area. I believe that, so either that or you can ask me anything philosophical. Canada is a very good place in which to cultivate your spiritual life, and hopefully it'll stay that way. It does have a history of conflict. There were lots of wars. I'm sure most of you know that the US and Canada were at war with each other at one time. In the year 1812, there were skirmishes that happened all along the Great Lakes, especially in the southern part. And but conflict is always a concomitant factor of being in the material world. We are here in this place called Marchiloka. It's a place of death, and I don't mean to sound like dark and like everything's so negative, but it is definitely, this material world is definitely a place of dualities, of good times and bad times. And we cannot ignore the bad times. Those people who do ignore the bad times or cannot face up to certain realities, they oftentimes find themselves in a low kind of life through substance taking or alcohol and various other outlets for drowning our senses and our emotions and steering us away from the true reality of the world. This world really is a beautiful place. And in Canada, we have all the seasons that we go through that can be appreciated. It's very colorful. We see all colors throughout the year. There isn't one color that sustains itself. Like in the summer, we have predominantly green. In the autumn, it's many other colors. In the winter, we have something that glistens. We have snow, which is white and pure. And the this, against the dark, barren trees. The black and white contrasts are actually very, very beautiful. Something like Krishna Balaram. Okay? And then we also have the spring, which brings everything's budding and exploding with energy. And you get all the colors from the blossoms, especially in the Niagara region. So it's definitely a good place to be. And while we're here, but as we understand from the teachings of Lord Krishna, we're here just temporarily, from the highest plane to the lowest. All are places of misery wherein there's repeated birth and death. So while there's pejorative things or negative things, there's also many positive things. And the most positive thing is the cultivation of your spiritual life.
Know it for certain, we are not these bodies. We are spirits within the body. We are the engine behind the vehicle, and the vehicle is this human form of life. And as humans, we must take advantage of this very great facility whereby we can make incredible progress. Everybody's always talking about progress. Nowadays, with COVID sort of looming in the air in the atmosphere, people are thinking a little bit less about progress. It becomes a little bit more to the point, well, I just have to try to survive. Just have to keep going, keep plugging away through this this great time of uncertainty. And once I get over it, I'll get back and I'll hustle. I'll be very passionate about my dreams and I will try to fulfill them. But rarely do we think people think about cultivating their spiritual life. So whatever project we put up, what we end up with, it will be simply a reminder in the Niagara region that let us cultivate our spiritual side and develop and advance and evolve. This evolution that Darwin came up with, that a man came from the ape, evolved from the ape, is a theory, it's a speculation that we don't necessarily subscribe to. But the real evolution is in the change, the alteration of consciousness. Am I just thinking about surviving? Is it just about food? Is it just about trying to have a warm place in the winter? Or is it just that, as in the animal kingdom, that's their modus operandi? Let me survive, let me eat, let me sleep, let me find a place, a partner to mate with, etc., etc. But as humans, we have a much higher purpose. We have much more important business to do with our lives because we have the faculty measures, because we have the will, and we have the intellectual power to be able to do that. So I think I could just stop there for the moment and see if you have any remarks or questions at all in regards to anything that I've been talking about. We are interested in shrinking the material world and expanding the spiritual world, and that's why we've come to the Niagara region to establish ourselves in a spiritual way. And we like to see that there's a lot more pious things going on. And one beautiful thing that I always appreciate about Srila Prabhupada, he always taught that we can respect different religious paths. We're not saying that we're the only one, that we don't have just a monopoly on spirituality, but any particular process that can help you to develop a profound love, what we call prema for Krishna, that is valid, that is good. And so just having that mutual respect for people of other different traditions is a big part of Krishna consciousness. We should not build big walls between people of different belief systems, or there should be a very strong and warm embrace. Let all people come. So that will be our mood. Let all people come and see Krishna in the temple. Let's say maybe see Krishna in the crystal, and move along like that. So we'll need everybody's help in this regard. Everyone to come forward to participate in devotional activities, especially those who are in the Niagara region. So thank you very much. I'll leave some period for your queries, and we'll be on with it. Is there anybody who'd like to start? Satchidananda Prabhu, I guess you're streamlining this, right?
Maharajji, actually, yes, I'm just, trying to streamline this. So at this point, Maharaj has requested that if anybody has any questions, the microphone is open now. And also one quick thing, to know about our programs and future events, there is a link posted to join the WhatsApp group. So please do so. Just 1 second, sorry about that. Yes, so now your microphone is open, one at a time, please. If anybody has any questions, concerns, or anything that you would like to ask Maharaj, please feel free to unmute yourself. And so I have Vaishnav Das Prabhuji, your microphone is unmuted.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, and to all the wonderful Vaishnavas that have blessed our occasion today. And I'd like to say a few words to Mother Subudhi. Mother Subudhi, the stalwart of Iskcon Toronto. It's such a pleasure to have your company here today. And may Krishna bless you with longevity and all the wonderful things in life. Maharaj, your class was very inspirational, and you've set us a very nice goal. It's not unattainable, it is attainable, but it's very nice to know that you have this wonderful vision, especially to complement this natural wonder of the world. And whatever we do there has to be spectacular. And we want to please His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti and Srila Prabhupada. And we want to make all ISKCON devotees very proud of ISKCON's capabilities. So as you said, let this be a joint effort. Let not Niagara Falls be a single entity undertaken by a group of people in Niagara Falls. Let it be a home for all the devotees throughout the world, that they can come here and find shelter. And as you said, at a time and place, so many devotees have given so much of their time and love to ISKCON and Prabhupada. It's time we repaid that love and that energy. So maybe in Niagara, we may have a chance to accomplish that. So I want to thank you again, Maharaj, for being there throughout all these years, throughout all our trials, our successes and everything. So let's go for this big one and let's see what Krishna wills for us. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Vaishnav Prabhu. I just hope you like the ideas. I haven't shared in such detail this kind of like dream concept, but you and I both agree that we should just do something spectacular. It cannot be plain Jane, as they say. It should be something out of this world. And I think when it comes to these kind of projects, we have to think a little bit like Prabhupada, who had the biggest vision, and he thought always out of the box. And he just was very open. He wanted us to do amazing, wonderful things. So looking at this incredible destination point in the world, I believe that Prabhupada would want something quite spectacular. And so let us do it, and let's put our heads and hearts together and do something nice, a little bit out of the ordinary, something extraordinary. Yeah.
Jai.
Maharaj, Hare Krishna. I was just sharing this dream I had kind of, this morning when I just woke up in a kind of a dreamy state. Something huge for Iskcon Niagara Falls, to the extent that if we are able to, by the mercy of Guru Gauranga, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, and if Krishna so desires, have a lot of acreage with everything that you said, plus a theme park. One thing that I noticed, that on both sides of the border, besides a few five-star hotels, some restaurants and casinos, everything is kind of, still young for development. And especially with so many tourists coming in, if we have a Sattvic place with a wonderful restaurant or sort of a mini Disney World or a mini Universal Studio kind of a concept where we have different rides that can be, this is a dream. But hopefully one day those rides based on Srimad Bhagavatam about the different people like monsters, especially in the West, with the uh, Halloween and all that. So Putna rides and the Agasu rides and all kinds of different, concepts. If the money comes in, Lakshmi comes in, this is something where devotees and also other people can just simply, come in and relish uh, uh, in a very subtle way, eventually, Krishna consciousness. So I'm hoping like the big industrialists and the big investors can come in one day and see this project happen. So it is a very huge, big dream, but Prabhupada always dreamt big. And I don't know what do you have to say about this, Maharaj?
Well, thank you very much. I thank you for putting your mind and your heart into this. It's a dreamy state is where we want to be at the moment, and it's a nice place to be at. I thank you very much for your time, giving me time to speak. I will have to sort of like bow out now at this particular point in time. And I really appreciate you giving me some time and space with you. The space is, through the screen. And, I'm I'm so grateful that you all have taken up this project, and I've got some, got some nice plans up your sleeves. But let us collaborate a little bit more, and just have that time. When COVID ends, when we actually can physically get together, of course, we can do whatever we can virtually. That's not a problem. But, thank you very much, Vaishnav Prabhu and Sachinandan Prabhu, and also the Swati, if you allow me to bow out, as I have a few other classes that I do have to attend in a few minutes. I just have to get ready for that. All right. Thank you.
We are grateful and thank you so much, Maharaj.
All right. Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much for your association and blessings.
Good.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, I want to say something.
Please
Yes.
do.
Is that Narayani Mataji?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes.
It's so nice to hear from you after a long period of time. And October 5th, happy appearance day. And 2 days ago in क्या है वो हमारा Srimad Bhagavatam Bliss Bhagavatam class in the morning, we were reading this verse from Gita, Bhumi Rapan Analo Vayu. So I mentioned in the class that, oh, Bhakti Marg Maharaj always quotes this verse, and today I'm hearing it. Hare
Oh.
Krishna.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it so much. It's good to see you again also. Hari Bol. I'll be leaving now. Thank you.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna. So, Vaishnav Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhus and all present. Now we can hear from the wonderful couple, that's Venkat and Snigdha Radhika Mataji, will conclude the program with a very sweet kirtan. Let's hear from them.
Before we do that, I'm going to unmute everybody except them, so that just in case, just to follow the protocol, somebody is on the phone or any kind of distractions will not inhibit the wonderful singing. So, Venkat Prabhu, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can you hear us?
Yes, loud and clear. Go ahead, Prabhuji.
Great. Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarini Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Thank you, Prabhu. Sajidan Prabhu, any final announcements?
Prabhuji, yeah, basically, we thank everybody who has assembled here for your support. And we're hoping to have your association every Saturday at 3:30 p.m. So please mark your calendars, and we will see you next Saturday. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Sri Guru Gauranga. Thank you, Venkat Prabhu and Mataji, for the wonderful kirtan. Vaishnav Prabhu, thank you very much. And of course, my special thanks to His Holiness Bhakti Marg Maharaj for being here today and sharing his vision and also blessing us. Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. If
Hare
anyone
Krishna.
still say anything, the microphone is again going to be open, just in case, because I know Maharaj has to had some other engagements. But we have Vaishnav Prabhu here, and if you want to direct any questions to us, any of the council members, Rudra Prabhu, Vaishnav Prabhu, myself, or Venkat Prabhu, we are open here so that you can uh, You can open up your mic, please. Go ahead, it is open. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, I wanted to ask one question. Can you explain a little bit to everybody about the wonderful concept of the food truck?
Okay. Vaishnav Prabhu, would you like to?
Well, we know that Niagara is a place that whenever devotees come to Niagara Falls, one of the biggest problems that they face is getting the right kind of prasadam, that they are used to. I mean, you have to eat out in some restaurant or cafe, and you're never pleased with the food that you get there. So our first goal is to take care of this issue. That is, we want to establish a Govinda's food outlet. Now, that could be in the form of a food truck or a premises that we are going to rent or buy. So by April 21, we are going to have this Govinda's restaurant or food outlet open in whichever form, a food truck or a location near the falls. So we have many complaints from devotees about the quality of food in Niagara Falls that they are having, and we want to cater for that need. So we are very excited about this. We are pleasantly applying for the permits, and hopefully, with Krishna's grace, mercy, everything will be okay. So thank you, Rudra, for that.
And perhaps we may have both. A
We
place,
may have both. We may have both.
yes. Because we see a lot of these vendors selling all this stuff, sandwiches and hot dogs and all the stuff that they're selling. Um, it would be amazing, Krishna Prasad. It would solve the issues of the devotees, and at the same time, it will uh, help distribute some mercy. And of course, it will help the temple with Lakshmi. So it's a win-win-win situation that we are trying to target, and we are visualizing. So, Rudra Prabhu, anything else? You have to unmute yourself, Prabhuji.
Prabhu,
I am praying to Lord Krishna that whatever is said today should become reality very soon, and we all should work hard to achieve that goal. And we have meager resources, but we have a strong will of service. So I am confident we'll all together achieve it.
Hari Bol.
Haribol.
Thank you, Prabhu. Anybody else would like to say something before we say Gaur Nitai? Good night.
Hello.
Hare Krishna.
Hello.
Dear Prabhuji, Hari Bol.
Haribol, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
My humble obeisance at the feet of Bhakti Marg Swami ji, and I'm excited to see one step ahead towards the reality of Niagara. The announcement of raised by Sachendra Prabhuji and answered by Vaishnav Prabhuji. I am really excited to know about this. That is a great need. Excited to be here and to listen to this. So Hare Krishna to everybody.
Hare Krishna.
Dear Prabhu, for your
Thank you.
and your wonderful input. We appreciate your presence. Thank you so much. It means a lot to us.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, if anybody else has to make any comments, reflections, otherwise we will say Gornatai. We will conclude the program today.
Jai. Hare Krishna.
Jai Shri Prabhupada. All glory to
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, good Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Gornatai.